So Yvonne, could you tell us in a few words what PBBT is and also where does it come from?
So PBBT is process-based behavior therapy, and it comes from two sources. It comes from the extensive clinical or experimental work on relational frame theory, especially on its update, and in particular on the work on the relating, orienting, and evoking unit, the RO, as we call it. That really made PBBT possible, as in you could see that PBBT could become a whole thing then. But of course, as clinicians, PBBT evolved from our unhappiness and a sense of there being gaps in the clinical work that we were doing. We wanted RFT to take us to clinical places that it couldn't. And of course, we were doing ACT and we were doing other types of therapy. And we were trying to combine RFT with them in every way we could. And we still find that there were things that we couldn't do, especially with complex clients, like severely traumatized clients or clients with unusual experiences who may have had labels such as psychosis. We were really struggling in those places to do what we felt we needed to do, but we just didn't have it in our toolkit. So it was a growing sense clinically about places we couldn't go with RFT. And then there was the opportunity to do that based on the work on the ROSE. So it came from an experimental, conceptual, theoretical place, and it came from a genuinely clinical place.
Yeah, so in everyday language, my understanding of the RO is it's a lot to do about who we are or the meaning of who we are. Is that, do you want to speak a bit to that?
That is exactly what it is. There are rows about everything. All stimuli have meanings for complex organisms like us. But the most fundamental meaning, the one that seems to govern most of our actions and seems to be influential in our happiness and in our struggle, it seems to be the rows of the relating and the behaviors around what do I mean to me and what do you mean to me and what do I mean to you. So it's those rows or those meanings or patterns of relating around other people and around myself. They seem to be the ones that are in the middle of the distress, and they seem to be the ones that when you target, the suffering reduces and the freedom to act in accordance with what you really want seems to open up.
Yeah, so in effect, could you say that PBBT is kind of a bridge between relational frame theory and identifying this raw unit and what we could call like therapy of the deep self or something like that?
Yeah, it certainly is a bridge. It certainly is a therapy of the deep self. There's no question about that. It is about the self, and it does dig very deep into the historical meanings that have now come to be a part of the self. And it is completely and absolutely built on the concept of the row unit and the other concepts in RFT. So it is a bridge from that basic concept and a way to dig into the self. So it certainly is a bridge that allows you to understand that. And PBBT is the toolkit that lets you do that.
Great. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.